Hey there, Discover Family Church. Pastor Johnny here. I hope you guys are having a great day, and just want you guys to know I've been praying for you. I love you. I miss you, and I can't wait till we get to hang out and spend some time together again, hopefully soon. But for right now, we'll continue doing this. Today I've been reading through different parts of the journey of Paul. And I was reading in Acts chapter 24 today. And in Acts chapter 24, there's a part where Paul, the Apostle Paul, the greatest missionary church planter that ever lived, he was accused of causing riots, causing problems, stirring up trouble because he was sharing the gospel of Jesus. And what we see in this story is something that's totally different. And it really struck me because they're accusing him of doing a lot of things that he didn't do. Let me see here. And this is in chapter 24 of Acts, and it's really the first half of the chapter. So they go before the judge, and the people basically say, let me see here. For we have found this man a plague, one who stirs up riots among all the Jews throughout the world, and is a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. Basically, he's the ringleader of the Christians. He even tried to profane the temple, but we seized him. And so the judge looks at Paul and nods at him and says, "All right, it's your turn to talk." And Paul, he's sitting there and he's faced with just utter hatred from his accusers. Like they hate this. They hate Paul. They hate all Christians, but they hate Paul. And in the midst of that, he does something that is so contrary to our human nature, and at times so contrary to the church even today. When faced with hatred, he doesn't give them hatred back. All he says is, hey, you can look. I was in Jerusalem just a few days ago. I didn't cause any problems there. You can ask them. And I'm here now. And I came here because I believe the stuff that you believe. I believe the words of the prophets. I believe that God is going to come back one day for us and bring us up to heaven. I believe all these things, but yes, I am a Christian. So I believe something a little bit more. But I have not caused the problems. All I did was by myself go into the temple to pray. That's all I did, and they accused me. But what we see here is something that I've noticed as I've read through Paul, through Paul's journeys, through all of the books in the New Testament that he wrote, that he doesn't respond with hatred. Instead, he sees every single interaction that he has, even this whole ordeal with him being arrested. And he was arrested for years. He was put in jail for years over the course of his life. Years and years and years. So not like he spent the night in the pokey. Like he's in there for a long time. And Paul sees these interactions, whether it's with the judge or with his accusers that hate him, or whether it's with a prison guard or another prisoner. He sees them instead of seeing them as an accusation or hatred, instead of seeing them as him being persecuted or hurt, he sees them as a chance to proclaim the gospel. He sees them as an opportunity to share the love of Jesus. Can I tell you, I don't like when the church or when Christians take a woe is me attitude at what the world is bringing around. I just don't think that's what Jesus would want. Paul shows us here that we should look at every time that happens. That doesn't mean we're happy that it happens, but when we are getting persecuted or accused or getting hatred, that we should see that as an opportunity to share the love of Jesus. Not to be woe is me, not to always be the persecuted, to always be the one that's put down, not to get angry back at them and say, well, you're doing that because of this political reason, or you're doing that because you're an atheist and you hate Christians. But to instead look at every one of these opportunities, every one of these instances as an opportunity. He witnesses to the grace of God. He warns of the consequences waiting people to reject it. But that's all he does every time he's accused. It's like that really cool story. There's a story where Paul and Silas were in jail, and they were chained to the floor, and they just started singing praises to God. They were in a jail 2,000 years ago, and they weren't like jails today. I mean, they were chained to a dungeon floor, and there was no running water and no bathrooms in this dungeon, so every gross thing rolled to the floor, and they were chained to the floor like that. And instead of getting upset, instead of getting angry, Paul saw that as an opportunity to love his God, to love his God's Son, and sing to him. Sing his praises to him. I encourage you today, put off the mindset of woe is me. Don't play the victim. You're not the victim. No matter what, the worst thing that could happen to you on this planet for being a Christian, you're not a victim. Because here's the deal. You're going to heaven. You've experienced grace and love that you don't deserve. You are not the victim. You are the winner. So act like it. Walk in that grace. Walk in that love and share it with other people. Look for these opportunities everywhere you go to love people around you. Can I tell you, it's the one way the world changes. It doesn't change when you feel oppressed. And it doesn't change when you feel like you're the victim all the time. It changes when you say, you know what? Yeah, that happened. But I'm walking in God's love. I'm walking in God's grace. Greater is he who is in me than he that is in the world. And you walk in that power and let him change the world around you. Be amazed at how quickly your day will change when you start walking with Jesus instead of walking in defeat. I love you guys. Have a great day.